My name's Willie Button, I'm the middle boy of three. Whip's 8 years older and a good deal smarter than me. He has an honesty about him, if you met him you'd know. A good God-fearing man, used to reaping what you sow. And the youngest here's Henry, who we tease quite a bit, 'cause he ain't woke in the arms of a good woman yet. Two more gracious souls you ain't likely to meet. Hell, even old Clay, the mean son of a bitch, tips his hat in the street. There's a storm blowing in. We planned to go fishing a few weeks before, so we packed up provisions from the grocery store. If we'd have had cause to look, then the warnings were there. But we pushed on with trepidation, foul in the air. And in November of 1872, 50 miles east of old Kalamazoo, me and my brothers, we lit out of town. But by then, old man Winter was creeping around. There's a storm blowing in. We drove through the pass with the air growing thin. Whip said to turn back, but the snow followed us in. We hit Prospect Cabin an hour before the dawn. But even that new day could not quiet that damn storm. And that night, like a grizzly, she crazed at the door, crept up like a thief through the cracks in the floor. All we could do was sit there and wait, pull up in a cabin, wait for the storm to break. She crashed like a train through the old cedar tops. To that siren sweet song we were lured to the rocks. For 18 straight days and the food running thin, we sat back and waited for hell to begin. There's a storm blowing in. We boiled up our boots, an old hide from the tack, mixed in some old bones from a dog's grave we found out back. You know, hunger, it seems, can strip the God out of men. If you leave that door open, then the devil climbs right on in. And after the rations, the last morsels of stock would take turns in scraping the grease from the rim of the pot. It did not take long for despair to set in, and we first talked out loud about taking a limb. Whip would go first, we strapped his leg across the chair. We took it off at the knee, and we burned off the hair. We had a ravenous hunger like you never saw. We gobbled up that leg of his, all bloody and raw. There's a storm blowing in. We passed it around like some campfire lore. I even traded Pa's buck knife for a few ribbons more. That's my first taste of flesh, not cleansed by the flame. And from that moment on, I never looked at my brothers the same. Henry started to shake, he made a kind of whimpering sound, and his bloodshot eyes, well, they just darted around. Well, he bled out, a froze old cripple. We chewed off his fingers just like peanut brittle. I shushed that young Henry to not make a sound. He just gurgled as I drew a straight razor around. His throat just fell open, all gristle and gore. But by then, there was no fight left in his eyes anymore. There's a storm blowing in. You know, it took another week, but my fever set in, and I laid with my brothers till old man death came creeping round again. My name's Willie Button, and I hereby confess to the murder and eating of my brothers, I guess.